Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and in today's video let's have a look at the brand new Boeing 787 update that we've got here in the Sim Update 13 of Microsoft Flight Simulator. So that's actually quite a lot of new stuff in here, so I'm not even gonna attempt to go over the changelog. Instead, what I'm going to do is I will take it out for flight and focus on the data link capability of our aircraft. So that's the most important thing over here. And as a couple of you guys in the chat are pointing out already, there does seem to be a little bit of problem getting the update downloaded because the servers seem to be a little bit slow these days. However, I'm sure that we are going to get it eventually, and then you can go to enjoy it. I only did a little bit of experimenting with the new version for now, so everything we are about to witness in here I'm going to see for the first time as well. So what's that? Is that an airplane? I suppose. Alright then. So we're standing at London Heathrow Airport. We're going to fly the British Airways 777. Did I say 777? Oh man, I'm too much hoping for that plane. The 787-10 over to Vienna for a little hour and 30 and a bit flight. Hopefully giving us plenty of opportunity to look over all the new features, especially see the data link and the EFB's takeoff calculation feature in action, and then we'll see what else and what other goodies we are going to be up to. Alright, let's head straight into the airplane and get it powered up. A couple of words over here. I am using an enhanced soundback with this one, and I am also using enhanced cockpit textures with this one. Both of them you've seen featured on my channel already. And Metal Eye, hi, nice to see you here. Same for you, G Walker, nice to see you as well. And the Aeronautics fanboy is asking, speak of the 777, do you know anything about the 777 you can tell us? Well, it's a superb little airplane. Unfortunately, I do know that you're looking for PMDG 777 news, and that is nothing that I can share with you for now. However, I'm sure that PMDG is going to do so when the time has come that they can actually show you something. And Vacro 1966, have they solved the problems with the A310 and the ATR? Well, at least according to many comments I've seen, they did seem to run into some new ATR problems with the new update, so it seems like it isn't exactly perfect yet. However, they are certainly going for it. And Evan Blakeman, PMDG EDB coming out in 2090. Well, probably even later, because nobody knows what an EDB is. And if you're asking for the Universal Flap tablet, well, that is certainly, I can't give details, but you're going to like it. That's what I can say. And KW Aviation, please tell me 777 is out this year. Well, unfortunately, I do not have any info that I can share with you on that topic. Alright then, so that was a lot of PMDG talk now, and originally we're meant to be here for that lovely little, we're here for that lovely little 787 today. However, one more question that I see that from the chat coming from Going Dutch Films. Hi, are you on the Beyond ATC beta? If so, can you share your thoughts? I'm not on that beta, at least not these days. Maybe I'll think about it in the future if I should ask him. However, for now, I just have so much to do flying the A330 and all of that stuff. Right now, I'm actually quite lucky that I can even do this live stream because I have 2 days off, and then I just came from Canada. I'll be going straight to the US again, so hopefully one day I'll be able to give you a little bit more information on that, a little bit more from actually flying the A330. And Ruhan, that's the last question before I'm going to press that battery button, I promise. Do you eat a sandwich or a burger? Well, personally, I'm more of a burger fan. However, there are some really good American diners making some nice sandwiches as well. Alright then, so let's get straight into here and let's get the thing powered up. We'll just start with a battery and external power up here. So watch that nice little effect as the screens are coming up. I kinda like it. I kinda really like it. Okay, so apart from that, we do have an EFB down here by now. However, only with a single tab simulated, that's the performance tab. I'll go into that a little bit later on. To show you a bit more stuff in there. In the meantime, though, the performance and the initialized flight tab are basically all we have in here. Even though the most important stuff is coming right down here. When you go onto the index and then the settings over there, we can enter the SimBrief user ID or the username. It's going to check if it's connected to SimBrief, And then when we go back to page number 1, we've got the weight and balance menu down here, which we can import from the operational flight plan. So let's go ahead and do that. This is, by the way, a lot quicker than any of the data link that I'm used to from the A330, by the way. A lot quicker. Alright, what I'm also going to use is the Navigraph chart app, because I recently discovered a cool new feature in the Navigraph charts, and that's right in the main button down here, View SimBrief OFP. So for now, let's quickly import our SimBrief flight, Heathrow to Vienna, and then the important thing over here, if we go onto the View OFP button, they can now show us our flight plan right in the app. Now that's not related to Sim Update 12, but I do believe this is a very cool new feature that they have in here, because it does turn in really handy. Okay, a couple of things for us then to check. Destination weather at Vienna Schwechat is looking quite alright for today, and our alternate lens is looking good as well, so let's take, well, I don't know, standard amount of fuel rounded up, I suppose, even though they do normally not have the transition in here, so let's take a ton extra. That's like 15 minutes on top, just in case. So we've got 13,508 in here, plus some 400, makes that 14, give me a ton more than we've got 15. And this we can now do actually straight here in the weight and balance menu. So let's say we want to go with 15 tons of fuel. I'll just type it in here, and here we go. And that's our fuel loaded up and distributed correctly. Same goes for the passenger count from SimBrief, and the cargo amount, all of that is directly as it was in my SimBrief settings, so that's pretty cool. And you could set the zero fuel weight directly as well. You've got your CG information in here, and that's the weight and balance page. So quite an interesting one that we do have in there, and for certain that's going to be one that is going to be quite cool as well. And from the chat, Fat is asking, is that the default 787? Yes, it absolutely is. Okay then, let's go on let's go on with our airplane setup. And just a little comment there from Metal Eye. Anyone else noticed Amy's accent turns more American every week passes by? Yeah, I suppose that's what you get for flying to the USA pretty much exclusively now. However, you don't want to hear me when we're flying over the United Kingdom. Recently you flew there, and you know, when I'm doing the radios, I kind of adapt my accent a little bit to the local accent. So when we flew over there, I'm just going to use fictional call sign over here. You know, usually I always call it like Lufthansa 75 or Lufthansa 74, and then going into the United Kingdom, I went like, London, good morning, Lufthansa 74, flight 380. And the guy just couldn't make us out. He was just like, that was a British accent, that's gotta be British Airways. And then eventually, just say again, it's a Lufthansa 74, flight 380. And only eventually I realized, like, oh, wait a moment, I should probably just talk a little more German in there. Lufthansa 74. Ah, Lufthansa 74, identified, direct to panel. That's just superb. And G Walker, I'm from UK and Amy's UK accent isn't good. Yeah, I do suppose it comes down to speaking a little bit of a mix of Queen's English and stuff like that. However, at least many colleagues constantly ask me like, so have you been to the UK? Or have you grown up there? In any case, Tristan Jones not gonna go into the UK accent over here. Okay, before we start with the setup of the CDU, that's something that I just got into from Airbus flying. You know, in the Airbus, we always do the rest of the cockpit setup first and then do the CDU last. Or the FMC, as you want to call it. Just because, you know, they say it's more important that the airplane is actually in the correct state than it is that you have initialized your FMC, and I do somewhat agree with that, even though in the Boeing SOPs it is not reflected. But, well, I suppose that's what you get for flying that Euro trash, as the Americans mainly call it. Okay then, well, so that is our FMC, that's our airplane setup pretty much done. So let's go ahead with the FMC setup. We've got all those uplink capabilities these days, so if we start with them, we can just go down into the FMC com page. However, let's try to keep it somewhat to the original Boeing SOP, so we are going to start on the init page and check over here. We've got the 787-10 with the Trent 1000 engine, database is active, and then moving on to the position in it, I am simply going to take the GPS position. Even though, you know what, I just want to try something for a second, see if they actually do simulate gate positions as well. So let's say we're at London Heathrow and our gate... no, it doesn't even turn active. Okay. Too bad. Well, then we're going to go with the GPS position. That's got to be fine. Okay, so what's new now? Route, request, look at that. Requesting, request send. And any moment now... here we go. Route uplink. So what does it say down here? Flight plan is ready to load or erase on route page. Okay, so we're going to click the load button, and now the thing is loading up, and here we go. Now that is a very quick load of a flight plan. I'm not so familiar with Boeing flight plan uploads, to be honest, because in the 737 we didn't have anything the likes. However, when looking into the A330, at least those uplinks do take quite a bit longer. Anyway, so that is our route pretty much uploaded, and if we have a look into the next page, we'll see that it does not include the SID and the star. So it only includes the standard route that we have over here and the airways. That is all we've got over here. So we still got to go to the departure and arrival page and determine which SID and star we're gonna get. So today our departure runway is gonna be 27 right. And our first waypoint, if we take another look over here at our route, is Brookmans Park. So Brookmans Park 7 Foxtrot departure seems to be what we are going to get. Okay then, we can execute that, and if we go into the departure arrival page once again, we can also enter the arrival information for Vienna. Right now they say it's going to be an ILS runway 11. Not 100% sure about that, but you know what, we are just going to enter that for now, and then we will update that in flight. So I do seem to remember the Budek arrivals always go towards Nerdu, so let's enter Nerdu 5 kilo arrival. And then a very quick check if what we've just entered actually makes sense. Yeah, it does. Okay, perfect. So, from here, when we're done with the route, we are going to continue to the performance page. And on here, do note that the performance init request is not active, so we cannot do that. We still have to refer to our flight plan over here. So we gotta take 168.0 fuel weight in terms of reserves. Looking down here, alternate plus final, that is what you normally put in. So if we just round it up, we take 5 tons, and that's going to be sufficient. Cruise flight level 390, that one it did uplink. And for our cost index, if we have another look at the top, then it's going to be 50. Alright, step size, we'll just leave all of that as to where it is. Cruise CG, also not going to touch that, and then we can move on to the thrust limit page. And that is where things are getting a little bit more interesting again, because that is where we've got to do our performance calculation. So if we move over to the EFB for a moment, first of all let's hit initialize flight, even though I'm not 100% sure what exactly that button is doing these days. In any case, we go on to the performance, and you can see that in here we've only got the takeoff performance active. We don't even have the landing performance, so this is quite basic it seems. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and do a couple of calculations. So, going on from here, you can see it automatically initialized the runway and the airport and the weights. But if we just press copy FMC data, we can update this. No intersection data available, it seems. That's quite unfortunate because, well, we do use those intersections all the time. And even my workaround over here through the NOTAM section, where you could cut the runway shorter, extend it a little bit, and like that work your way around and do some computations, doesn't seem to be active. So this really seems to be very, very basic right now. In any case, let's go ahead and enter a little bit of stuff. So we're going to start with runway 27 right in a dry condition. So the wind is 290 at 8, slightly variable, and it does seem to me like the most limiting is coming from 330 at 8 knots. So let's go ahead with that. 330 with 8. outside temperature 19, and the QNH should be 1022. So I wonder where it got the 1013 from. Probably just synchronized with our current altimeter setting. Okay, then rating optimum, flap config optimum, anti-ice off, and improved climb. Well, that one seems to be disabled. So it looks to me like those with the blue blue box around it are disabled. The green ones we can actually enter. Okay, so we've got the takeoff weight, we've got the zero fuel weight, and what we do not have is the CG. So let's quickly go ahead and grab that. And that used to be right over here. So CG is 35.2. Okay, so let's go for CG 35.2. Okay, hit calculate, and let's see what this is going to give us. Hello? Ah, here we go. That's better. That took a little while. Okay, 27 right, 182.981. So that's a D-rate takeoff 2 with 57 degrees assumed temperature. What if we go full? Okay, that's interesting. Look at that takeoff thrust value down there. We've got 87.9 on full, but on assumed we get 53.8. That doesn't seem quite right, but let's give it a try. D takeoff 2 and 57 degrees. Let's see what we're gonna get. 2 and 57. 63.1 versus... well, that's a 5, isn't it? Am I blind? Wait a second. Okay, that is a 5 over here. That's absolutely 5. 53.8 for the takeoff thrust versus 63.1 in here. That doesn't make much sense. Did we enter any incorrect data, maybe? Heathrow 27 right, dry 3308 19 1022. No, that's all correct. Oh, that's interesting. Normally those values should pretty much match. But a couple of you guys say just use the send output button. And you say OAT. Well, we've got 19 centigrade. And we've got 19 centigrade. So it isn't the... well, you know what? Let's try that send output. See what it's going to do. Okay, takeoff data uplink. Accept. Let's go back to the N1 page. No, it still doesn't match. Am I blind or something? Did I miss something? I mean, that would be a very gross error here. D takeoff 2, 57. No, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. There's something wrong with that takeoff data calculation. What weights do we have in? I mean, the weights don't have an influence on the... the weight shouldn't have an influence on your thrust, but there is definitely something wrong there. And those things like flaps or CG and stuff like that, they don't have an influence on that. What's surprising me here is this. Looking at the data, we've got derated 2 and 57 degrees. That is totally independent of stuff like the flaps, like the CG, and anything the likes. If we got the same temperature, 19 degrees, and then we enter D takeoff 2 and 57 on the N1 limit page, like we have over here, D takeoff 2 and 57, then this thrust value up here is totally independent of stuff like the flaps, the CG, or anything. This is just the combination of D-rate and assumed temperature. And that needs to be equal. There are certain conditions in Boeing aircraft, like for example when there is no air conditioning available, it can be slightly different. But let's quickly check. We should have air conditioning, do we? I mean, it's a 787, yeah, it doesn't even have bleed air, so yeah, we definitely do have air conditioning. But that's interesting. That is definitely not correct behavior over here. That is definitely not correct behavior over here. And guys, the CG doesn't make a difference. It really doesn't have a difference. It has no influence on thrust. All that I'm comparing right now is the thrust data from here. You can forget about everything that's shown over here. All we care is this, D takeoff 2, and this temperature. And these two combined, with the OAT being correct, needs to give the same number. Like, we've got the correct OAT in here, 19 degrees, it sensed that automatically. Then we've got the D takeoff 2, and we've got the 57 degrees. And that is a difference of, well, you can see it. But it's a difference of almost 10 units. And that can't be. So, for now, this calculation is pretty much, yeah, I don't know what to do with it, because the problem is, if we go ahead and use this now, and the thrust values are different, then the entire takeoff computation is invalid. I mean, let's just give it a try, because why not? And we are just going to use this data, even though it does give us a different thrust over here. I mean, it also tells us the 63.1 up here, so I'm just going to use it. Let's see how the takeoff is going to turn out, but this is definitely not what I would expect. Let's put it that way. Another interesting fact over here, when we change between full and ATM, what the real Boeing OPT does is it would go full D takeoff 2. So it would just reduce the ATM. This one instead goes full toga. However, that's not what we want. If we want full toga, then we need to go up here, change the rating to a TO, hit calculate, and if we do that, you know, now it tells us DTO and 58 degrees, and if we go full, it just goes for TO. That'd be correct behavior. However, if we go on an optimum here and we're calculating that, then changing between full and ATM should keep the DTO 2 and just take out the ATM. ATM, by the way, assumed temperature method. You might be comfortable with the term. Flex temperature from the Airbus land. ATM in Boeing land means exactly the same thing. All right, so that's really all I can say about this. So yeah, we'll just go with the output that this thing gave us over here, and that's gonna be fine. The rest of it is going to be, we'll see. If we overshoot the end of the runway, well, or rather if we lose control after takeoff with an engine failure, because that is what happens if you have more thrust in here than you have down in here, then loss of control would be your big threat for the departure. Then, well, we'll see about it. Okay, in the meantime, there is one more thing we can do, that is uplink the wind data. There's two ways of doing this. The easy one is just going to the FMC.com page down here, go to wind, click wind data request, and this is now pulling the wind from SimBrief. And it's going to give us the en route wind, the climb, and the descent wind. Okay, so we go wind data load. Now we should get the wind prompt in here, and it should ask us to execute this. Because wind data uplink certainly is something that needs execution. But okay, looks like this one doesn't ask us for it. In any case, we've got two more uplinks over here. One is the climb uplink, the other is the descent uplink. Let's start with the descent over here. Click load. Thank you. And let's take the last one, that's the climb. And load that as well. Okay, perfect. So that is pretty much our uplinks completed. And with that, let's quickly set the transition altitude, 6,000 here in the UK. And that should be it, really. Okay, so that is pretty much our FMC setup complete, and with that we're ready to go. So I'm going to skip over the departure briefing. I know that you guys know how to do one. If not, then I've done some tutorials on it. So I suppose we go straight back into the normal procedures, and the next one in line is the pre-flight checklist. Now on the pre-flight checklist, or rather on all the checklists, there is something new as well. So if I click the checklist button up here, it is these days going to, first of all, automatically tick the items that the airplane can send, and it is going to open on the checklist that is next in terms of what's been worked on. However, we wouldn't be in Microsoft Flight Simulator if everything worked perfectly. So you can see I just opened up the checklists and it put me right on the before start checklist. Now, reading the changelog, it said that it is going to skip over any completed checklist. But now look at that. Normal menu, pre-flight. And those are items that it can sense. So it's sensing them, but it should still show us the checklist. So when I hit that checklist button for the first time, it should have opened on the pre-flight checklist and show us this page that we see right now with the checklist completed item down here. Instead, what it did was that it continued automatically to the before start checklist, which should not happen. Only if we close it, then open it again. Now it should load on the before start checklist, because the previous checklist is not only completed in terms of what we had to do, but indeed it is you know, it's it should still have been shown to us. Ah well, details. I guess we can't have them all. Okay then, I suppose we're gonna ask for GSX to prepare our position for the pushback and departure, and in the meantime I'm going to call ATC for clearance. So I've got Heathrow Tower online, 118.505. Heathrow Tower, good afternoon, Speedbird 702 Echo information, Golf request clearance to Vienna.
Speedbird 702 Echo, Heathrow Tower, hello, number 1, for clearance standby, break, Scandinavian 532, contact London Control on 118.480.
Okay, we can pre-select that. 118480. Oh, come on. That should have worked without the decimal as well. By the way, very nice to see over here that VATSIM is currently trialing the new, well, the, for VATSIM standards, new 8.33 kilohertz frequencies. And we can see those in action over here. We're currently 118.505, as you can see up here. And our departure is going to be 118.480. Both of them frequencies that previously we didn't see in use over here. Okay, so GSX, no, we are not looking for pushback quite yet, but we are looking for IFR clearance instead.
Speedbird T3 Tango, keep it rolling please, second left onto Bravo, Delta, stand 568.
Okay, so standard FMS setup. We'd go takeoff on the left side and then legs on the right side. And what we can do over here as well is take it at 1,000 for the acceleration. Like so. Okay, perfect. So now it's just about waiting for air traffic control. And then we should be ready to go.
Speedbird 702 Echo, report your stand number and aircraft type.
Speedbird 702 Echo, stand 545 78710.
Speedbird 702 Echo, thanks. Cleared Vienna. Destin, correction, Brookmans Park, 7 Foxtrot departure, squawk 1253.
Cleared Vienna, Brookmans Park, 7 Foxtrot departure, squawk 1253, Speedbird 702 Echo.
Speedbird 702 Echo, reback, correct.
Alright, so we've got the Brookmans Park 7 Foxtrot as cleared, squawk 1253. Alright, let's turn the TCAS into okay, not simulated it seems. Oh, that's a pity. And the other thing we can do as well. Oh, come on. You can certainly type those frequencies without the decimals in the real unit. And why does it give me invalid entry when I'm... Okay, that unit got a little bit bugged there. That used to work better previously. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and prepare the pushback. Okay, the APU is taken over, ground power is removed. Then let's do the before start checklist. Flight deck door, well, that is automatically done, we don't need to read that. Passenger signs. On MCP. Oh yeah, I still need to set that. Oopsie. That's so much easier with the Airbus. You just need to set the altitude and you're done. Okay, but we are not setting in an Airbus here, so let's go ahead and do that real quick.
Lufthansa cargo 828, have a clearance and ready.
Okay, 270, and then
Lufthansa cargo
finally...
828 cleared Manchester.
That was it already.
156. 3511. QNH is 1022. Information Golf is current.
Alright, that's it, and the trimmer 2 units. And then we can run the before start checklist. My Boeing SOP starts getting a little bit rusty, I have to say. I don't like that. But for now, certainly focus is going to be on the A330, and after that I may be able to brush up a little bit on the 737 and the other Boeings. Okay, cool. By the way, did you notice that? Now that the trim is set to the target value of 2 units over here, the trim light automatically turned green. Let's see if we can reverse that. Yeah, look at that. So it's automatically sensing now if those checklists are filled correctly. Okay then, we continue with the before start checklist. So MCP V2 156 heading 270 altitude 6000. Takeoff speeds, we have 142, 147, 156. CDU pre-flight, completed. Taxi and takeoff briefing, we assume that completed. And holding at the beacon, I'm only going to turn that on once we've actually received pushback clearance. Speedbird 702 Echo, request pushback.
Speedbird 165 Kilo, contact London Control 129 at decimal 425, bye-bye.
19425.
Speedbird 81 Romeo Charlie, service winds 290.
Captain McGee, am I spoiled by the Airbus now? Yep. It is such a nice airplane, honestly.
Speedbird 703 Echo, service winds 290 degrees, 8 knots, runway 27 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, 27 left.
Speedbird 702 Echo, stand 545, push and start approved, face north.
Speedbird 702 Echo, push and start approved, face north. Okay, so that's interesting. Somebody with an almost identical call sign on the frequency here.
Can you just confirm?
By the way, why does GSX only start to lock the gear now and not prepare everything and then ask us where to go? Because normally you're supposed to start your pushback in a matter of seconds after clearance is received. In any case, you can see down here that the beacon has automatically been sensed to be on, and for that the before start checklist is now complete. So this time that we're standing here now, waiting for GSX buggy programming, here we go, do that in real life, and ATC is going to inquire what's going on. I had that recently when departing Frankfurt, and the pushback guys spoke neither German nor English. They only spoke an Arabic language, and they gave us a non-standard pushback clearance. You know, normally, normally pushback clearances are standardized, like push approved area 1, and then everybody of the ground crew knows, okay, area 1 is there, and off you go. However, on that day we got a non-standard pushback clearance, like push approved, face west, stay clear of Charlie 15. And when you do that pushback, then obviously the ground crew needs to understand, but they didn't speak English, they didn't speak German, and we had to find somebody to translate into Arabic in order to get that pushback done. That took like 10 minutes delay or so, which was unbelievable. Just unbelievable. I mean, I don't care if anybody doesn't speak the local language, even though, you know, if you're working at Frankfurt Airport, you should probably speak German, but nonetheless. But English? I mean, come on, that's really basic, isn't it? Okay then, let's go ahead and start the engines. 787, so we can start both at the same time. And here we go, that's the auto start in progress. And Magoo, the moment I join the stream, Amy starts complaining about GSX. Everything as usual. Yep. Seems like it. Pretty much seems like it. Interesting, by the way, also that we get this,
Radio check.
Okay, brake set. So interesting that we get the range to altitude banana down there. Oh well, okay, GSX is introducing a rate of climb, even though we're steady on the ground. No full comment. Okay, that was the sound of the starters disengaging. Here we go, that is both engines running. Very good. Okay, so GSX is getting clear of our plane, that's very good. Alright.
Hello, I think I'm back. Shuttle 3 Lima, runway 27 left, clear to land, surface winds 290 degrees 8.
So let's do the flight control check, please.
Speedbird 703 Echo, welcome to Heathrow.
Pull up.
Continue on out,
Pull
first
down.
stand 518.
Well, still not full down. I don't know what that is, if that's a bug or a feature there. And neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder.
Left hand to Chicago 828.
Full left. Full right.
615, push and start approved.
Neutral.
Straight north.
Okay. Then let's continue with the before taxi checklist. Anti-ice. Auto, recall, checked. Flight controls, checked. Ground
Session
equipment.
calling radio check.
Where are they? Down here. Well, that's very good positioning there, but anyway, the pin is seen. So ground equipment clear, APU off, before taxi checklist complete.
Bye-bye.
Alright, let's go. Speedbird 702 Echo, request taxi.
Speedbird 702 Echo, taxi right onto Bravo, hold tight.
Right Bravo holds Titan, Speedbird 702 Echo.
Anti-First Tower, hello, Vision 2 Mike Romeo, stand 146.
Alright, so off we go. Bravo hold short Titan.
1022, clearance please, Bucharest.
Vision 2 Mike Romeo, Heathrow Tower, hello. That would explain why you're just currently sat on a taxiway if you were Terminal 1, so not a problem. Cleared Bucharest, settling to Fox.
So no need to do a brake check over here. Man, that Airbus really starts to get me.
Repeat squawk, 2 Mike Romeo.
Okay, so let's quickly grab that taxi chart. Basically we know where to go. Bravo's the first one to the right, and then all the way over here, and eventually hold short Titan. That's got to be somewhere over here. We do have a better taxi chart available though, so let's quickly grab that as well.
Alright.
Here we go, taxiing. That's the chart we're looking for. Okay, so Titan is over here,
Squawk.
past the main apron. So we go all the way straight and then past the main apron, and that's where we're going to stop. Easy going. And the look at the windsock over here certainly suggests that the runway direction is right as well. In case you're wondering, one of those markings on the windsock there equals a 5-knot wind, so over here we're looking at like 10 knots at least, maybe something around 10 to 15 knots of wind.
Correct. Sorry, Vision 2 Mike Romeo.
Read back is correct.
Okay, that's clear on the left, and clear on the right. Come on, airplane, this is full tiller input right now. Look at that, full input. And it's not doing anything. It should turn in a much tighter angle. Perfect example once again for those people on the PMDG forum who keep telling me it's only the PMDG 737 having that bug. Nope, it isn't. That's perfect example here. 787 absolutely has that as well. And the 74 by the way. And the Phoenix. All of them. Even though in the Phoenix it's not as pronounced as it is in here.
Lux Air 36 from Alpha 3 to 7, wind 270 degrees 13 knots, runway 27 right, clear for takeoff.
Alright, so we're on the way. Then we can do the takeoff briefing review. So it's going to be a left seat takeoff, runway 27 right, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure 2, and the takeoff speed 142, 147, 156. Now the SIT itself is going straight out with a right-hand turn, and we contact departure when advised by ATC on 118480. Okay, and that is pretty much it really. So this one I'm going to cut the corner a little bit. Okay, before takeoff checklist.
Vision 1968, report to
See that? Over here it's behaving correct. Previously we've had the before taxi checklist, and we closed it while it was completed, and now we click the checklist button again and it opens on the before takeoff checklist. Interesting behavior, seeing it over here, while with the pre-flight checklist that did not work. So it doesn't seem to be that general bug that I first suspected.
Here to our destination via Deadly 2 Foxtrot departure and Walk 1168. Can you tell us the initial climb level as the airplane pilot so we can't read the chart? So yeah.
Vision 1968, not a problem. Initial altitude is at 6,000 feet.
By the way, did you hear that radio transmission just about? With this Vision saying that he can't read a chart because he's a blind pilot. That is actually a really interesting story that I heard there. Whenever I hear that Vision call sign on VATSIM, basically Vision is a group of people who are blind who got some programs, I don't know how it works exactly, which basically read out the basic airplane data to them, like the pitch, the speed, the thrust, and stuff like that, and they can use that to simulate their flying. That's really impressive, isn't it? Like, I'm sure that I couldn't fly anything the likes without being able to see, but these guys managed to do it somehow on the simulator. That's quite impressive if you ask me. It also means they can't taxi, by the way, so what they usually do here in VATSIM is when they are done with all their preparations and such, they ask ATC for permission to respawn onto the runway, and then they just set thrust and go. But I find that really impressive, like really impressive.
Cuba 206, roger, number 3 for clearance, standby, brake, Luxair 36, contact London control.
Okay, so that's Titan coming up over here.
025.
12005, luxury 36, bye-bye.
And Luxair 36, my apologies, just closed. So contact Heathrow Director on 119.730.
Okay, new frequency.
119.730, luxury 36.
119.730.
702 Echo, continue taxi, link 21, link 22, hold Alpha 2.
Link to 1, link to 2, hold Alpha 2, speedbird 702 Echo. Okay, so all those links can be a little bit confusing, so let's be sure where we're going. So, link to 1, straight ahead, link to 2, to the left, hold shot Alpha 2. Okay, so that one over here is link 21. It goes straight, and then to the left. Okay, and on there it says link 22 as well. Okay, perfect. And then Alpha 2 is just inside that taxiway. Okay. Oh, look at that. I believe that was the Vision respawning over there.
American 107, Africa clearance and ready.
Ready to drop American
107. American 107, cleared JFK, umlaut 1 Foxtrot departure.
It's interesting, now we're getting a lot tighter steering than we used to a moment ago. Now we're doing 5 knots, previously we've been doing 4 and it didn't work. So it looks like that bug is still in the simulator there.
Vision 2 down on this Cuba, fully ready for departure, 27.
Yeah, so that's the Vision over here.
Thanks, between 270 degrees, 13 knots, runway 27 right, clear for takeoff.
27 right, clear takeoff, Vision 2 down.
Speedbird 702 Echo, behind the departing, Boeing 747, via Alpha 2, line up runway 27 right side.
Speedbird 702 Echo, behind the departing 747 via Alpha 2, line up 27 right behind. Okay, that's him departing.
Speedbird Hotel, good evening. Copied
Okay, before takeoff checklist, complete.
Stand number 596.
Right, he's going, the approach is clear.
906, push and start approved, face north.
And how about we get those down as well?
Name, correction. About 6 foot hotel.
So lineup is gonna get interesting now. With the Tiller not being able to do full range, I'll probably just follow the taxi offline. Not what you are like meant to do, but so be it.
Speedbird 702 Echo, surface winds 270 degrees 13 knots, runway 27 right, clear for takeoff.
Speedbird 702 Echo, runway 27 right, clear for takeoff. Okay,
Okay,
I'll take it very slow because we're still waiting for wake turbulence separation.
Turn right onto Alpha, hold at Saturn.
Okay, take off.
Cross 27 left, 5 US 7 and one side.
Sub takeoff thrust.
Delta and Ocho Saturn, Chicago.
Okay, thrust draft, hot toga, toga.
Turn right onto Alpha and holding point Saturn.
Right on Alpha, then hold at Saturn, thank you. Chicago.
Thrust set, and it's definitely giving us the thrust that we have in here, not the thrust that's been calculated in the EFB.
Which is 5 out
100 knots.
Roger, reposition onto the threshold of runway 27 right, report fully ready.
Rotate.
Vision 2 Delta Ski Airborne 3000.
Vision 2 Delta Whiskey Banks, contact London Control on 129.425.
Positive climb. Gear up.
129.425.
Oh, no.
Vision 2 Delta gear up.
Thrust draft, enough speed. And autopilot.
Ryanair 127, I have the clearance and ready.
Ryanair, Heathrow. Oh boy.
Ryanair 127,
Poor
clear
O'Leary, probably gonna go crazy when he gets that bill.
7642, QNH 1022.
Okay, flaps 1. Checklist incomplete norm. Well, interesting. We certainly did complete it. Okay, flaps up.
Ryanair 127,
Speed check,
confirmed
flaps up.
departure D Bravo Papa Kilo 7 Foxtrot departure at Squawk is 7.
So why did it tell us checklist incomplete normal? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, now the gear and flaps are up. Now we can do the checklist. So. Oh, look at that! It lost the before takeoff checklist.
Squawk 764.
Well, we're gonna override that one and continue with the next. After takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist complete.
Ryanair 127, reback, correct, brake,
Okay, vertical speed.
702, Echo, contact London Control on 118.480, bye.
118.480, speedboat 702 Echo, bye. Okay,
Vision 5
118.480.
Hotel, thanks, surface wind.
London Control, good afternoon, speedboat 702 Echo, heavy passing 4,500, climbing 6,000.
Speedbird 702 Echo, London Control. Climb now, flight level 110.
Climb now, flight level 110, speedboat 702 Echo. Okay, VNAV, did we clear everything? Yes, we did. Okay, cool. So, set standard.
At 59 miles and then south end at 42 miles.
That is standard cross-check passing flight level 67 now.
Hey, sir.
Feels somewhat strange to fly Boeing with Airbus SOPs. Approaching. Okay, speed, vertical speed.
305 London Control, 0322, Posfer 1 Alpha arrival, subdown 7. 032,
Alright, so we are slowly getting there. I'm going to answer a couple of your questions in a few moments, by the way, guys. Okay, and that's about 1,000 to go. Let's do VS 1000 and continue the acceleration. Looking for an en route climb. Let's make it 300 knots initially, like so. We're passing 10,000, so lights are going off. Signs.
Canadian 505.
Auto.
10 flight level 160.
Okay, we'll certainly keep the derated climb in over here, and that should be mostly it. Okay, let's change to weather, by the way, even though I don't think we're gonna get anything.
Roger, descent down is approved.
Alright, down is approved.
Alright, so I do think that we have somewhat made it. So what's our target climb speed here? 298. Yeah, perfect. Then we can do 300 for now. It's incredible how quickly those heavy aircraft climb when they're at lightweight. Okay, Alt. VNAV Alt. Okay, so I'm somewhat waiting for the handoff from the controller right now to either the next one or to Honeycomb, whichever it is going to be. And then we're going to summarize our departure, and I'm going to give you my first impression flying the updated 787 in sim update number 13. There certainly is a lot about it that we can say. But by the way, I do think it's so quiet over.
50 X-ray contact.
So quiet over here. I am going to ask him for further climb.
120.625.
Look at that, by the way. 5 minutes, and we're already flying level for a minute and 110. That's just about how much power this airplane has.
Yes, actually, I am gonna cancel that emergency, but I'm still gonna defer this because I got the tools to work again. Contact 1206, the point 625 for directory. Thank you so much.
So, are we gonna get further climb now?
Fever 6 uniform whiskey. Speed separation descent, flight level 140, speed level by Abston, and speed 280.
I mean, in the real London airspace, I would never question it if they don't give us further climb. They usually have traffic and everything around that makes it totally acceptable that you might have to level off occasionally. However, in VATSIM, usually that's not the case, so I am just going to give him a shout. He does seem to be rather busy, even when there was a little break on the frequency a minute ago. I suggest he's probably been coordinating with that Stansted radar, seeing that he had a Ryanair emergency airplane there. Wonder if that's been due to fuel. So we'll see about it. Or I might just have climbed so steeply with this airplane that I'm just not in a position where he's allowed to hand me off now. But let's ask.
279er, descend flight level 80.
8079.
Speedbird 702 Echo, maintaining level 110.
Speedbird 702 Echo, roger, climb now, flight level 150.
Climb now, flight level 150, Speedbird 702 Echo. Okay, so it is indeed still his airspace. Oh no, my simulator crashed to desktop. Just when I hit altitude intervent to continue the climb. We just crashed to desktop. Lovely. Okay, so that is Sim Update 13 for you guys. Well, so, with that happening, I suppose what we're gonna do, initiating another flight is probably gonna take a little bit too long. So what I'll do is I'm going to answer your question that just came in there. And the aeronautics fanboy, I say we play some elevator music. Yeah, that does sound like it. And Daniel, I'm the second person with a CTD like that. Okay, well, lovely. I do surely hope that that's limited to the 787 and not to all the other aircraft as well. In any case, I am going to take the opportunity before we shut this down that I am going to answer the questions that you guys have posted. Well, actually, you know what? I'm just about going to restart that sim, and probably going to take a while, but let's see if we can get something running there again. Oh, lovely Steam. Application is being run already, you can't run it. Well, lovely. Give me a second, I am just about going to kill Steam, then we try it again, and then we're going to load that sim up again. and see what we can do. So steam.exe and yes, thank you. Alright, so well, while we're waiting, I have this little lovely banner up there from my last 737 flight that I can show you. And in the meantime, I'm going to try and reboot that sim and see what's going to happen. So, you can start the timer if you want to, and then we'll see how long it's going to get until that lovely simulator is running once again. That time, hopefully a little bit more successful than previously. In the meantime, though, a couple of you have been asking a couple of questions, so let me just get back to them while the simulator is going to take its 10 minutes to start. So, first of all, I'll just take it backwards in terms of logic. So let's start with Victor Mushtin. What is the reason behind using vertical speed in climb but not a plain open climb? Okay, so that reason there is that if you are going to use the climb mode or the open climb mode, depending if you're flying Airbus, Boeing or whatever, if you're doing that, then it is going to approach the cleared altitude very rapidly. And if you do that, then you can trigger a TCAS resolution advisory, even though both aircraft are cleared 1,000 feet apart from one another. So that is the reason why you would use vertical speed. Now, in my old airline, we had a rule there being called the 3-2-1 rule. So 3,000 feet to go, you'd want a maximum of 3,000 feet a minute, 2,000, 2,000, 1,000, 1,000. Now, in my new airline, they just say for the last 1,000 feet in the climb, limited to 1,500 or less. But in the A330, that's rarely a problem anyway, because that thing just doesn't want to climb. It can easily take you 35 minutes to get to cruise level, so that much about it. Then, WRTS4G is asking, curious what you think of the nose oscillations on climb out. I honestly tell you, I didn't really notice them. Then, Ben Beckman, good evening. Why don't you transfer your ATPL to VATSIM? Because I don't want to send them a copy of my license. I don't trust the VATSIM network enough to send them a copy of a real-world pilot license, which I would need to do in order to get VATSIM to introduce my pilot rating into the VATSIM system. And honestly, I don't really care. I know I can fly an airplane, so I don't care if others see like rated P4 or whatever. It doesn't make a difference anyway. Then Beluga has asked, what's the difference between climb and climb now? Well, primary difference is that with a climb now instruction you can disregard any sit constraints, while with a climb instruction you still need to obey them. That's how they do it in the UK. Now, in different countries there is different phraseologies for that. So for example in Germany they would say climb via sit, flight level so-and-so, and that is going to get you climbing a lot quicker. Or rather that is going to get you climb via all the constraints, or they might say climb unrestricted or whatever. So that's the primary difference there. Then the aeronautics fanboy has asked, how you do get speed into vent on the VNAV? You couldn't find it. Just click that speed button on the MCP. Then Standal has asked, how are you able to fly the TBM 850? Well, because the developer sent me preview copy. Okay, and then Taxer XI. For the HUD there is a camera position that lines you up perfectly to look down the runway and not have the speed tape off the side. Yeah, I'm aware of that, I just don't like it. For that reason I'm not using it. And even though I've got the HUD down when I'm flying this over here, that's more for you guys than it is actually for me using it. I still prefer looking at the PFD. I suppose that's just because I've never flown a plane that had a head-up display, so I'm just used to flying it by looking down at the instrument, and for that reason I'm still doing it. And then Noah has asked, is it just me or does the rudder feel stiff on the 787 after the update? Yeah, it certainly does. Generally I have a feeling that taking sharp turns has gotten even worse with this update, so yeah. I'm afraid that's how it is. And Ari Santa, that cool YouTuber that usually flies the TBM, posted a new video flying the 960. Wow, really? That's something I'm gonna have to check out. That is definitely something I'll have to check out. Then Nordic Aviation, what is the procedure if you get a bird strike on final approach? Go around either way, or is it? No, it's if you get the bird strike on the final, and you can continue the approach with the landing flap setting that you've previously calculated, then you just continue. So, let's say we're in a 737, we've got flap 30, we're just passing through the 1000 foot gate and we will receive a bird strike. Simply increase thrust on the other engine and land the plane. And that's it. And then, there's another question from Anyaneya Toa. How do visas work as a pilot? Do you need to apply for a visa every time you fly to a new country? No, that's just the United States who demand a visa. All other countries just take the normal passport and let you enter. Obviously together with your crew ID, so you can't just enter a country, say, hey, I'm a pilot. No, you need to present your crew ID, and obviously there should be solid evidence that you arrived as a crew member. Then the aeronautics fanboy. Now with the updates that this aircraft has received, do you think that this is the best default aircraft that has come to a sim so far? Well, that's honestly a good question. I do believe the A310 is still somewhat more advanced in terms of its systems. However, the 787 and the 747 are very good as well. I would say the A310 is probably a bit more advanced. We'll have to see about the A320neo, by the way, that they're going to include in the next sim update around the end of the year. But for now, I'd say the A310, with the 787 coming very close by, just after it. That's kind of my expectation there. Alright, so with that done... Hey, my sim finally managed to load. Okay, I tell you what, we're gonna load up straight a runway 27 right. Obviously we can't do that on VATSIM, so I'm just going to do it straight within the simulator. And here we go. So 27 right, set as departure runway, and hit fly. Now I am quickly going to import everything from SimBrief, so it should only take us a minute or so to get going, and then we'll just fly straight out, and we'll see if we can recreate that crash to desktop. So we'll level it off in 110, and thereafter we're going to use alternate event in order to get it flying again. Let's see if that's a recreatable issue that we can tell the developers about. Because ultimately, I've been asked a couple of times, like, what do you actually do as a beta tester? And well, that is pretty much what you do. So you fly it normally, you encounter an issue, and then you try to reproduce it. And with this one, let's see if we can actually do that, or if we, well, encounter something different. Cool, so that's ready to fly. Obviously, we are not on VATSIM anymore. Wouldn't be a good idea to spawn on the runway right on VATSIM. Okay, so index, settings, weight and balance, set from OFP. Here we go. Still says standby, completed, very good. Then, let's go for the route uplink, request, send. So let's see how that's going to turn out. Okay, load. Execute. Departure. 27 right, Brooklands Park 7 Fox. Okay, like so, like so. We'll just fill that out automatically. That as well. Cost index 50. So, let's take a moment, by the way, to see if we can reproduce that problem with the departure data as well. That was something like 330 at 8, temperature 19. Okay, thrust optimum, flaps optimum, anti-ice off. Okay, calculate. We just don't have the CG. Okay, so it gives me the same value. Takeoff 258, 53.6. Well, we're gonna send that output. Okay, accept. 63.1. So that buck is still there. Also, I'm wondering, why is the fuel showing amber? Is that center fuel pumps? Yeah, okay. Perfect, so we do switch those off. Okay, so pre-flight looks good. CG35 gives us 2 units of trim. Let's set those, and then we're ready to go. So trim is setting. Here we go. Insufficient fuel. Well, let's just about enter that arrival. ILS 11. What was it? Budex to Whiskey, Nadu 5 kilo. Maybe uplink the wind as well. Here we go. And G Walker, we've all turned into beta testers with Sim Update 13. Yeah, it does look like it. And Sep, geez, is the EFB added with Sim Update 13? Well, the EFB is pretty relative. They did enter that takeoff performance calculator, but that's all. I mean, look at that. You can't even do the landing side of things, let alone a load sheet or so. So calling that an EFB is very, very relative. You know, that's a takeoff performance calculator, and that's it. Alright, so that should be it. That is it. Then let's take the acceleration height at 1,000. Perfect. Okay, so initial climb was 6,000. Like so, speed 156. And the heading, well, doesn't matter that much, but let's make it 269 just for consistency. Okay, here we go. Cool, so that should be it. Checklists are done. Actually, no, I want to try something. Let's go back. Before takeoff checklist. Checklist reset. Okay, 5 checklist complete. Let's see if we're gonna get that warning once more that we received earlier. So let's put those on and those on. I think we got it now. Okay. Okay, looks good. Let's go. Take off. So that's thrust draft, hot toga, toga. And talking about hot, here we go. Okay, thrust set. 80 knots, checked. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. LNAV. Autopilot. Okay, so let's see. One of the comments talked previously about nose oscillations. Let's see if we can see those. Thrust draft, VNAV speed. Yeah, that's pretty hard pitch down there. But nothing too significant yet. Flaps 1. Speed check, flaps 1. And flaps up. Speed check, flaps up. Okay, so we switched a couple times between VNAV and vertical speed. Let's see if something there does work out, or if we are gonna get stuck with what we have. Okay, so let's go vertical speed, get that down for a bit. Like so. Then we received the climb to 110. Let's see what's gonna happen. Thrust draft, enough speed. Okay, so now, what have we just done leading us to the crash to desktop? Well, I do recall we used vertical speed mode in order to level off for the past 1,000 feet or so. So I suppose we're going to do that once again as well. And after that, when we've been level, we switched into VNAV. Okay, no, we don't want to level off over here. Keep climbing, please. That rate of climb is just incredible, isn't it? Like 5,000 feet a minute up here. Almost 6,000. Okay then, vertical speed. Okay, I think I see what you guys meant with the nose oscillations here. It does go a little bit up and down. Now, yeah, it's not too significant, so I do suppose it's somewhat fine, even though not perfect. That's kind of what I would estimate. Okay, aeronautics fanboy, QNH, good point. We didn't tell the plane earlier on what the transition altitude was, so let's do that now. Okay, so 1,000 feet a minute. Accelerate to 300 knots. That's what we did. Passing 10,000. Lights off. Signs off. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen. I suppose I am going to give it a short while flying level in 110 as soon as we have engaged that mode. Just for the sake of it. Come on, climb faster. 30 seconds to go till we're level. Okay, we've got Alt. Let's switch to VNAV. VNAV Alt. Okay, let's wait until it has stabilized on the speed, and then we climb to flight level 150. Like that. Okay, Alt and event. And it's working just fine. Okay, well, it's doing what it's supposed to do. But let's climb a little bit. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna let it run straight into the 15,000, level it off over there, and then we'll do another experiment and see if we can somehow force this thing to happen again. Now I'm curious. And the aeronautics fanboy, just rewatched the CTD part. You CTD'd right after crossing that VOR. Well, okay, then let's see what's gonna happen when we cross Brookmans Park. By the way, why is it in VNAV Alt and 13,000 now? Did I turn this one too low and it went into Alt at that point? Let's try that once more. Up to 15. Okay, let's bring it all the way cruise level and see what's gonna happen when we overfly Brookmans Park. I wouldn't be surprised if the crash to desktop happened because of the transition from the SID, which we loaded manually, into the en route environment, which was uplinked. Maybe that is the reason. Let's see. Okay, crossing Brookmans Park. Nope, that is looking normal so far. Or so they said. Okay, seems like this is working now. Yeah, Looks like it. Okay. Cool. So, well, let's see if we're running into anything else. I wouldn't be surprised if we did. Okay, so I told you earlier, as soon as we're clear to cruising level, let us talk about the things that happened on the departure. Now, a couple of them we have just revisited already by the time that we set the airplane up again. So, first one, I'm going to start with a performance calculator, okay? So, to me this looks unfinished, okay? There's a bit of stuff in there, but let's say, for example, if we entered the trim here, 35.2, hit calculate. What's the effect of that? I know that on the 737 version of things, you would have gotten the trim value over here then. Then next to that, we've got the incorrect power setting out of it. The acceleration height up here seems to come straight from the FMS. So look at that, it's 10,700... sorry, it's 1,078 right now. And if I'm going into here... Look at that, this is just coming straight from the FMC. Also, the switch between full and ATM doesn't seem to be right. And we can't even select intersections or use improved climb or anything the like. So, what I did figure a little bit earlier is you can simply put a tailwind in by going -5, for example, on the speed. So now you can see on the bottom down here, 5 knots tailwind. So that is quite nice. But that's really it, okay? So... yes, they have an EFB now, officially they can say so, but it really doesn't do much, okay? And what it does, it's even giving us incorrect values. So, well, okay, apart from that... man, I don't remember most of that climb. But yeah, we had that turn issue still. What we did not have, if you have a look at that, I can look around now without that stupid Xbox cursor showing up, lighting up my, or putting that wide rectangle across my screen. So that has certainly improved. I mean, there's got to be something in it, right? Yeah, apart from that, the plane is flying nicely. As long as it doesn't crash the desktop. And I do think that that's pretty much all that we can say about this. Yeah, apart from that, it did work kind of alright. In the meantime, I saw a couple questions there what sound pack I'm using. I'm using the FT-Sim Plus sound pack for the Rolls-Royce engines. With a 787-10 here. There may, however, be a little bit of a mix-up between a couple of sounds because I didn't update my sound pack in quite a while, so... if Microsoft has overwritten any of those sounds, then that may have actually carried forward into my simulation over here. Then Birdman, too many variables involved, you'll never replicate the crash. Having VATSIM enabled might have had some influence too. Yeah, I don't think VATSIM had an influence because it happened exactly at the point where I hit altitude intervent. So I'm pretty sure that it is related to that. However, tracking that down would be a beta tester's job now, and they have paid beta testers at Microsoft, so good luck to them figuring that out. I'm just going to submit the report like I experienced it, together with a link to the live stream, and then it's going to be Microsoft's job to figure that out, because unless they want to pay me for it, you know, I'm not going to waste time doing a ton of departures there just to figure that out. And Akash Arka saying in the comments, "Hi, I just flew this aircraft today, but while landing on autopilot disconnection, it just nosedived." Oh, that looks interesting. And then virtual skycheck. Will it keep VNAV path on descent, I wonder? Well, at least I do hope so. But let's see about it. And Christos from Thessaloniki, hi there. Do you know how Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 will be purchased? No, they haven't released any information apart from that little interview, and that stupid trailer. So no way to figure out like exactly what's going on there. Well, not without getting more details anyway. Okay, we will see. And Seb is saying, I'm really waiting and hyped for the MD-11. Think finally gonna have a fine heavy bird. Well, I do hope so, but let's await the release first. Because they do seem to be in a hurry to get the beta version out, and the results that can have, we'll see about. We'll see about. I don't want to say anything bad about it beforehand that regarding its actual development state. But let's just say it doesn't look to me like it's going to be a perfect release straight away, even though I am obviously happy to be convinced the other way. Oh, what's that? And another crash to desktop. Lovely. Right, well guys, I do have a feeling that the simulator doesn't want to run today. Yeah, well, not quite sure what else to do there other than to trying it again. Honestly, I don't see much sense in it. So, well, I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. I'm gonna leave it at that. Not too flash to try that again. And John Swagger in the comments, DirectX 11 might help. Yeah, but if I do that, then I can't use... if I go DirectX 11, then I can't use the frame rate multiplier. So that is something that I really want to avoid. Alright, well, Daniel, maybe hop to the TBM. Not today. But with a bit of luck, I'll try to get a TBM stream in tomorrow. We'll see about that. In the meantime, G Walker, will there be more 850 vids? Yes, absolutely. I'm working on a full-scale tutorial for it that should be out over the next couple of days. And in the meantime, I tell you honestly, I'm fed up trying this one more time. I'll leave it as it is. And Andrew, did I just update to the latest NVIDIA drivers? I did. But it ran fine before. Earlier today I used the TBM for 2 hours and it worked just fine. And now the 787 is crashing, so I do suppose it's somehow 787 related. In any case, I'm gonna leave it at that for now. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully see you tomorrow on another stream. I am going to run a couple of test flights now with other aircraft types, see if those are going to run fine. And if they do, then I'll do a stream on those. Well, hopefully tomorrow, maybe on Sunday morning, we'll see, because Sunday evening I will be flying in real life again, so I'll have to see how I can fit that into my schedule. And Beluga X-Plane streams, yeah, that's something I'm thinking about as well, but I want to get those incredible lags out, because I can't even use X-Plane on VATSIM, because it always disconnects me, because that thing is hanging up, so... Once that is solved, I'm certainly gonna do some X-Plane streams again. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I do hope that it's gonna run a little bit better the other day. In the meantime, enjoy your flights, hopefully with a little bit more luck than mine, and I see you all again right on the next one. Thanks, and enjoy your